Hello and welcome back. Thanks for joining. My name is Berit and today it is time for another book list. There is this thing called BookTube Spin. Rick MacDonnells hosts this thing on his channel. I will put a link to it down below. And what it does is that it kind of randomizes your TBR, and it works like this. You make up a list of 20 books, and then on Friday, Rick will spin a virtual Wheel of Fortune, and each book has, of course, a number assigned to it from 1 to 20, and whatever number will be picked, that book will go on your TBR for the next, I think, 2.5 months. I did participate in the book spin once before, and I failed miserably because I didn't read the book that I should have read for several reasons. I did read the bonus book, although I read it not in the time period that was assigned to it, but anyway, I thought let's try again. I have made a list of 20 books, and maybe this time I will not fail to read one of them. The list is pretty random. I will just go through it without saying very much about the books, because otherwise this video will be very long. The first 5 titles are books from the list of classics that I want to read in 2022. And I don't have any of the books on me right now, but I'm optimistic that I will either find the titles in a library here, or that I might find them used or as an ebook or something like that. So my number 1 is The Sandman by E.T.A. Hoffmann. This is a kind of psychological, dark, fairy tale-like thing as far as I know. This is the worst description of a book ever, but okay, this is my number 1. Number 2 is The Jews' Beach by Annette von Droste-Hülshoff. This is a kind of murder mystery from the 19th century. Number 3 is The Master and Margarita by Mikhail Bulgakov. This is a Russian classic, and I really want to read it this year, so maybe I will already read it in the beginning of the year. Number 4 is Little Man What Now by Hans Fallada. This is another German, I would say, classic, but I'm not sure if it actually is a classic. It takes place in Berlin in the 1920s, I think. Then we have The Blue Angel, also a German classic by Heinrich Mann. I think it's from 1910 or 1905, something like that. So those are the 5 classics on the list. We continue with number 6, Mesopotamia by Serhii Zjardan. I'm guessing that I'm mispronouncing the name, I'm sorry about that. This is the book that I should have read for the last book spin, and I failed. So I'm putting it on the list again, but I want to read the book either way because I think that it will be interesting. My number 7 is A Hero Born by Jin Young. This is a Chinese martial arts fantasy novel, and that is more or less all that I know about it. I think it's from the 50s, and I cannot wait to read it. Then we have Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe, which I'm probably also mispronouncing. This is a kind of a different take on Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad, which I have read. And I thought that the concept of having a different perspective on that pretty colonialist story would be very interesting. So I bought it last year in a used bookstore, but I haven't gotten around to reading it, so it's on the list. The next title is a German title, and I don't think that it has been translated, and it is Der Ring der Nibelungen. I'm not sure how to pronounce Nibelungen in English, by Wolfgang Holbein. I did get this book as a gift 10 plus years ago, and I never read it, which is a shame, I think, because I do like the story of the Nibelungen quite a lot. And this was number 9, by the way. My number 10 is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I don't think I have to say much about the book because it is pretty popular. I haven't read it yet, but I've heard good things about it, so I thought, why not? Number 11 is The Woman on the Stairs by Bernhard Schlink. I don't really remember what the book is about. It's something with is it a crime story? But it's also related to art and several men trying to find out who this woman on this painting is that they've been in love with in the past. Something like that is that book. Number 12 is Stephen King, Pet Sematary. I've been meaning to read this already in the fall, but I didn't get around to it. I only read one book by Stephen King in my life, and it was horrible. So I'm kind of hoping that Pet Sematary will be a more positive reading experience. I've heard great things about the book, and I'm looking forward to reading it. Number 13 is Broken Stars. This is a collection of Chinese science fiction short stories, translated and edited by Ken Liu. Number 14 is The Redemption of Time by Bao Shu. If I remember correctly, this was originally like a fan fiction taking place in the story world of The Three-Body Problem, but it got published with like the license of Yu Zixin. It was also translated by Ken Liu, who also translated the first and third part of the Three-Body Problem trilogy. And I've heard okay and kind of good things about this one, and I thought it might be interesting to read something else that takes place in the universe of the Three-Body Problem, because I did like the trilogy quite a bit. Number 15 is The Sing-Song Girls of Shanghai by Han Bangqin, I think. This is, as far as I have read, a kind of forgotten Chinese classic. It's from the end of the 19th century. I have started reading it in July last year, but I never got past page 118. The thing is, I wouldn't say that I have DNF'd the book, because I still plan to finish reading it, but I will probably have to start over again, because the story is quite complicated. It follows different characters in the red light district of Shanghai, which at the time this book takes place is starting to become like a metropolis or an international city. And I thought it was really interesting. I really liked the idea and the story, but I also kind of had trouble keeping up with the narrative, because it is narrated in a style that is very unfamiliar to me, and I guess maybe to several Western readers, but it was pretty interesting. So I haven't given up on the book yet, although I've been taking a reading break that's lasted for like 5 months now, so yeah. Number 16 is Monday Starts on Saturday by Arkady and Boris Strugatsky. This is a Russian science fiction novel. I think it is a satire of some sort. I am reading another book by the Strugatsky brothers at the moment, and I hope to finish it soon. It's very good, so I thought I would also buy this one. I've heard that this is quite popular in Russia, or it was quite popular in Russia when it came out, so I'm quite excited for that one. Number 17 is The Life and Loves of a She-Devil by Faye Weldon. I picked this book up sometime last year from a stack of free books that I found at work, and I picked it up 100% because I love the film She-Devil. I guess that's the title, from the 80s with Roseanne and Meryl Streep. I felt that it was a huge coincidence that I found the book in this stack of free books, because I didn't even know that She-Devil was a book adaptation. So therefore I picked it up, but I haven't gotten around to reading it yet. Number 18 is another German novel that I don't think has been translated into English, and it is Kevin von Loxley by Wolfgang Holbein, so Kevin of Loxley. This is a kind of historical fantasy thing, and it is about Kevin, who is the supposed half-brother of Robin of Loxley. So I'm guessing that this will be a kind of Robin Hood-like novel. And I also got this book like 10-12 years ago, and I haven't gotten around to reading it yet. So on the list it goes. Number 19 is, I guess, somewhat of a classic maybe, and it is Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie. I did watch the film again during Christmas, so I kind of still remember who the murderer is. But I'm excited to read something by Agatha Christie because I haven't done that yet. And then for number 20, I thought I would put a little challenge on the list if the number gets picked, because this is a non-fiction book. And it is This Is Your Brain on Music, The Science of a Human Obsession by Daniel J. Levitin, if that's how you pronounce the name. And it is about how our brain reacts to music, how music works like in the brain, I think, like the neuroscience of music a bit. I did start reading the book once. I'm 40 pages in, but I have a very low motivation when it comes to reading non-fiction books in my free time. But I thought the first 40 pages were really interesting, and you might ask yourself why I didn't keep on reading. This is a question that I cannot really answer, but anyway, I put it on the list to challenge myself if number 20 gets picked. So yeah, this is my list of 20 books for the book spin that will happen this week on Friday. I will probably write in the comments which book got picked, because I also want to try to hold myself accountable for what book will go on my TBR, and I will try not to fail this time. We'll see how it goes. I guess I'm kind of excited for all the 20 books. There isn't really one on there which I don't want to read, because why would I put it on the list? I hope that you found this list interesting and that you enjoyed it, and maybe I'll see you in the next one. Bye!